All right, fellas, let's get to ranking these zombies maps.
So are we ranking every zombies map, including Infinite Warfare, Exo Zombies, and World War II?
Fuck no. Only Treyarch. All those other modes suck compared to the real thing.
You do gotta admit, though, Donald, Zombies in Spaceland is a goated map.
Oh, for sure. One of the best maps ever made, better than many Treyarch maps. It's just everything else not made by Treyarch is mid.
Agreed. Don't even get me started on the Beast from Beyond or the Tortured Path.
You know, I actually like the Tortured Path.
Of fucking course Joe likes the Tortured Path. That map, if you can even call it one, puts me to sleep. Which I guess explains why you like it, Sleepy Joe.
Okay, let's not start arguing just yet. We have lots of maps to get through with Treyarch alone. So let's get started with Nacht.
F tier. Horrible. No perks or pack-a-punch, are you kidding me?
Well, that's not really fair, Donald. Nacht was the very first Zombies map and laid the way for everything that came after it. Show some respect.
Yeah, seriously, Don. Without Nacht, we wouldn't have the great maps we have today. Gotta give it at least C tier.
No way. Nacht is so boring. The World at War version has no wonder weapon, and it always takes forever for the zombies to walk their slow asses to the barricades. How is that fun?
Listen, Donald, nobody is saying it's a masterpiece. You just got to appreciate what it did for the franchise. Can we compromise at D tier?
Whatever, let's just move on from this dog shit map.
Alrighty, next up is Verrucht.
Solid B tier. I love the creepy atmosphere and the tight map layout. It's very difficult, but that adds to the fun.
You know, I can agree with that. There's no pack-a-punch, but it did introduce Perca-Colas and the roaming mystery box mechanic. A big step up from shitty Nacht.
I don't know, man. I think it's too scary, and that's no fun. I'd give it a D.
Bruh, are you serious, Joe? Grow a pair, we're putting it in B.
Great, now on to the map that never seems to go away.
Hey, I know this map from Vanguard. I love this one.
There are so many things wrong with what you just said. For starters, Shino Numa is mid as fuck anyways, but the Vanguard version is even worse.
You're right about the Vanguard version being awful, even though it probably is the best part of that game, but the original is pretty cool. It really kicked off the storyline and gave us the original crew.
I agree, but who goes back and actually plays Shino Numa still? It was cool when it came out, but now is overshadowed by practically every map that came after it.
If I was being generous, I could see putting it in D tier.
I don't know. I really liked it on Vanguard. I'd give it an S tier.
Shut the fuck up, Sloppy Joe. You're a simpleton if you think Vanguard is good. Play a real zombies game like Black Ops 3.
Seriously, Joe. Vanguard was a bigger travesty than when George destabilized the Middle East for oil.
Fuck you, Barack. You didn't exactly try and make things better over there.
Whatever, let's just put this shit in D tier and move on to a real goated map. Der Reese, surely we can all agree that this is S tier.
Yeah, I can agree with that. It gave us the pack-a-punch, monkey bombs, tons of lore, etc. It really was a huge step forward for zombies.
Joe, I thought you said you haven't played a lot of these old maps when we did the Moon Easter egg the other day.
He probably just forgot because he has dementia. Best to not worry about it. That said, Der Riese is a certified masterpiece to me. It can't go any lower than S tier.
That was an easy decision. Glad we agree. Next up, one of my favorites, Kino.
Yeah, I gotta back Obama on this one. Kino is so good, a classic.
Of fucking course, the two sissy Democrats like the most overrated zombies map ever. Kino is for little babies and is just a worse version of Der Riese. People only like it because it was their first zombies map. It doesn't hold up.
Yeah, Kino didn't really innovate too much from Der Riese, but I still like it. I'd say it's a B-tier map.
I was thinking A tier at least. I mean, it's iconic.
An iconic piece of shit, maybe. F tier.
Donald, you are clearly in the minority here. I think it's an S tier, but just to stop your bitching, how about we settle for B tier?
You guys are fucking crazy. Kino is so boring, but whatever.
Now here's an underrated map. 5 is awesome, and we as presidents should all agree that it is a really cool map concept.
Well, President Cheeto, any shit talk you want to spew about 5?
I mean, playing as JFK is really cool, but I'd have to say it's D tier because the Wonder Weapon is straight ass, and the Pentagon Thief is one of the lamest special rounds ever.
Donald has a point. The Winter's Howl is dog shit. I stubbed my little toe on the Oval Office desk once, and I think that hurt more than that gun ever could.
I say we meet in the middle at C tier. It's a flawed masterpiece, in my opinion.
Next up is Ascension. I fucking hate this map for a couple reasons. The lack of a new wonder weapon and those fucking space monkeys.
The monkeys definitely drag the map down a lot, but it's still a cool map that's fun to go for high rounds on.
Come on, they're not that bad. It makes the map challenging.
I like that the map starts in black and white. Reminds me of the good old days.
Jesus H. fucking Christ. Somebody come put Grandpa to bed. He thinks the map having no color is a positive.
Focus, guys. We have a lot of maps left to cover. Clearly there are mixed emotions about Ascension. It did give us the first ever Easter egg quest, so I say we settle for B tier.
Whatever you say, Hussein.
Call of the Dead is up next. To be honest, this map never really clicked with me.
Understandable. The wonder weapons are pretty mediocre all around. George Romero can be a pain in the ass, and the icy waters can be really annoying to deal with. But I think there is good to be found. It's another B tier for me.
Are you guys kidding me? Sleepy Joe, you just don't know perfection when you see it. Call of the Dead has so many amazing features. Sure, the wonder weapons are lackluster, but they are unique. And you can get the Wunderwaffe from George after doing the Easter egg. And this is the first time we got the amazing music of Avenged Sevenfold in Call of Duty.
You know, I was leaning more towards B tier as well, but I think Donnie has swayed me. The Easter egg is pretty good, and there's two versions depending on if you're playing solo or co-op, which I appreciate. Plus, I have fond memories of rocking out to Avenged Sevenfold while playing this in the Oval Office.
Thank you, Barack. Seems bipartisanship is possible after all. Personally, this is an S tier for me.
S tier is just too high. The map does have some glaring issues. Want to meet in the middle at A tier?
I mean, not really, but since you dumbasses can't appreciate the masterpiece that Call of the Dead is, guess we have to.
All right, Shangri-La is up next.
Talk about mid as fuck.
Yeah, Shang is very challenging, but not in a fun way, but more of a I want to pull my hair out kind of way.
I think we may have a unanimous decision here. The baby gun is fun, though, and the Easter egg is pretty good, so I say we put it in D tier.
Works for me. Moon is up next.
Ah, Moon. Probably the most annoying Black Ops map to play, which is saying something considering some of the maps on there are not that fun.
What a load of malarkey. Moon is a great map.
Joe, you literally just played Moon for the first time the other day and were carried through the Easter egg.
Ooh, call him out Obama, but I'll explain. When you're not in an area with air and being forced to wear that stupid fucking helmet, you can barely hear shit. You're constantly being forced to stop what you're doing and go to spawn to stop excavators from drilling. The astronaut steals your perks, and it's Jug he takes 99% of the time. And the zombies will float towards you and hit you, or you'll float too far into a horde of zombies. Need I continue?
Yeah, but it's zombies on the fucking moon. Immediate S tier.
Donald does make some good points, but the map is absolutely iconic. I can't put it any lower than A tier.
A tier is way too fucking high for Moon. This map is overrated as fuck. The only positive is the Easter egg, which is cool when the stars actually align for you to get everything you need to do it. Waiting for Excavator Pie to breach Tunnel 6 wastes more time than Sleepy Joe's inauguration that nobody watched.
Will you shut up, man? At least I didn't lie about how many people showed up to mine.
Fuck you, Sleepy Joe. All I'm saying is this map cannot go any higher than C tier, and that's me being generous.
Whatever, let's just move on to the next map.
Oh God, Transit. Talk about something that actually does turn me into Sleepy Joe.
I know you're not shit-talking one of the all-time classics, Joe.
What the fuck are you going on about, Don? Transit sucks and everybody knows it.
Yeah, seriously, Donald, this should have been a quick one to get through. Are you saying you actually like Transit?
Damn right I am. This map took big risks when it released, and the businessman in me loves taking risks. I mean, you can ride a bus like Rosa fucking Parks on this map.
What the fuck, bro?
And before you call me racist, I'll have you know I actually met Rosa Parks. Terrific woman. She would have loved Transit.
Common Trump L.
The only one taking an L today is you losers who can't recognize greatness. I mean, for example, Transit is huge. Bigger means better. And don't get me started on the wonder weapon. It actually requires skill to use. It's not overpowered for the sake of being overpowered. And there are 2 Easter eggs, depending on if you want to follow Maxis or Richtofen. Even your shitty little knock that you all love so much is in Transit.
I can't believe we're listening to this malarkey. Just drop it in F tier, Barry, and let's move on.
Okay, Nuketown Zombies is up next.
Nuketown is pretty boring, not gonna lie.
Yeah, who likes waiting 20-something rounds for Jug to hopefully fall from the sky? Plus no wonder weapon. Drop this shit in D tier where it belongs.
Will do. Next up is Die Rise. I'm interested to hear your guys' thoughts on this one.
Hashtag remaster Die Rise.
George, you only like this map because there are lots of buildings that are collapsing on it.
Holy shit, Sleepy Joe comes in with a haymaker.
Fuck you, Joe. I happen to enjoy the layout of the map and some of the unique mechanics. The verticality of Die Rise is something we never really saw again. The Sliquifier is one of the strongest wonder weapons, even without a pack-a-punch version. The Trample Steam is a fun mode of travel across the different buildings, etc.
But aren't you forgetting something, George? For the Easter egg, you have to play with little mahjong tiles like an old white woman. And this map gave us possibly the worst perk ever, Who's Who.
I mean, the Who's Who jingle does slap, though.
Oh, and it takes place in China.
I nominate Die Rise to the D tier.
Yeah, for real. D tier it is. Sorry, George.
Surely we can all agree that Mob of the Dead is an easy S tier?
Yep.
Of course, everything about it is terrific, the best, believe me.
I don't know, guys. I think...
Shut up, Joe. Moving on to Buried. You know this map takes place in the continent of Africa, Barack. Does it remind you of home?
Fuck you, Don, you racist prick. You know damn well I was born in Hawaii.
Prove it. Let's see your birth certificate.
How about we see your birth certificate to prove you're not the love child of Hitler and a dried-up old tangerine?
Holy shit, Joe just gives no fucks tonight.
Calm down, Creepy Joe. It was just a joke.
Moving on, what are we feeling about Buried? Personally, I think it's a tad on the easy side, but it is really fun. I personally think the witches are dummy thick.
I agree wholeheartedly about the witches, Barack. I think the map is way too easy, too. It's like Baby's first Zombies map. The Paralyzer is pretty dope, though.
Easy. Try getting to a high round on this map. It's not easy. You have to use buildables, which is annoying as fuck.
Sounds like a skill issue, Joe. This map is a solid B tier for me, though.
I was leaning more towards C tier.
I was thinking D tier. I can't stand this map, especially Leroy and his big dumb ass that you have to coax with candy, similar to Joe in his white van.
Fuck you, dum-dum. And his name is Arthur, not Leroy.
All right, I say we meet in the middle at C tier. We can't argue about Buried all night. We still have lots of maps to get through.
Fine by me. Next up is Origins, easy S tier.
Truly one of the all-time classics.
Yeah, I really love the ending cutscene, too. Samantha looks cute as hell in those little pajamas.
So Shadows of Evil, then.
Personally, I don't like the direction Black Ops 3 took the storyline. It used to be cool when it was about secret Nazi experiments and shit like that. But the Lovecraftian stuff and different dimensions just made an already complicated story that much more hard to follow.
I mean, I get that, but Black Ops 3's storytelling wasn't that hard to follow. Sure, there was a lot hidden below the surface, but Zombies was always like that. Just watch a Mr. Raffle Waffles video and it all makes sense.
Yeah, Blundell was cooking when he made Black Ops 3, and Shadows of Evil is a perfect example. The aesthetic of the 1920s was perfect, especially the soundtrack. The Beast Mode mechanic was a cool spin on Afterlife mode from Mob of the Dead, which this map shares a lot of similarities with.
I suppose that's fair. I mean, Black Ops 3 is the best game in terms of gameplay, so the maps are fun to play regardless.
The Apothecon Servant is a fun wonder weapon, and the Margwa, Parasites, and Meatballs are unique enemies to spice up the gameplay of normal zombies. Also, Jeff fucking Goldblum is one of the characters.
So can we agree on S tier for Shadows?
Sure, I can accept that.
Next up is DE.
Ah, Der Eisendrache, one of the greatest maps ever made.
For sure, it's in a medieval castle, and as we all know, I'm a sucker for medieval castles.
I don't know, Jack. I didn't like the wonder weapon that much. Seemed kind of weak.
Joe, that's because your slow ass never built anything other than the wolf bow. Because you're a noob. Maybe pull up another Mr. Raffle Waffles guide and build the goated bow next time.
Come on, man.
This map had an amazing Easter egg bringing Dempsey home. That ending cutscene still gets to me. And the first ever boss fight in Zombies was on this map. It deserves S tier.
Actually, the first boss fight in Zombies was against Oz in Exo Zombies Descent. Just saying.
I know you didn't just actually, George, about Exo Zombies. We pretend that shit doesn't exist, Barack.
Well, I know your side likes to spread misinformation, Don. Just had to put that out there. Let's just put Der Eisendrache in S tier.
Fucking Zetsubo, this map sucks.
While I agree it is a step down in quality from DE and Shadows, it isn't that bad.
Isn't that bad? The map is ugly as shit. The Easter egg is tedious and not fun. The boss fight is barely a boss fight at all. The process of getting the KT-4 is not fun in the slightest. And that Shrek motherfucker zombie is one of the worst special zombies in Treyarch history.
So where do you propose we put it, Donald? I think it's a C tier myself.
F tier. Nobody likes this map.
Well, I think you're just shitting on it because some zombies YouTubers told you it wasn't fun and you listened to them, but the spiders scare me, so D tier.
Jesus, Joe, you're such a pussy, but all right, D it is then.
Next is Gorod Krovi. I hate this map. Dragons don't belong in COD Zombies.
I mean, it is kind of ridiculous, but the map itself is pretty fun and there's 2 boss fights. Ultimus Nikolai is really hilarious on this map, too.
The big negatives for me are the Easter egg being really annoying. Some of those challenges are just not fun or downright frustrating. And the wonder weapon is not that good on high rounds.
Yeah, the Mark III is kind of mid, no cap. Don't get me started on those annoying-ass Valkyrie drones. Annoying as fuck. And the dragon constantly breathing fire down on your training spot. So fucking dumb.
Better not let JC Backfire hear you shit-talking Gorod, Donald. He'll come after you.
Let that little weasel come after me. I don't fucking care. Gorod is overrated. It's not the worst map by any means, but I never go back and play it.
I still think it's a solid A tier. It's flawed, but still a great map.
I mean, Donald, you should love it. It takes place in Russia after all.
Oh, shut up with the Russia hoax, Joe.
Moving on, Revelations. Personally, I think it's fun. B tier at best.
Yeah, I like that there are 2 really overpowered wonder weapons on it. It makes for a fun and easy high round experience.
Only way your noob ass is ever making it to round 100.
We do got to talk about that Easter egg, though. I mean, it took like a week to solve because of how nonsensical the steps were.
Yeah, who the fuck thought that going around shooting random rocks and bones was a good idea for an Easter egg?
And the boss fight is just the Shadows of Evil fight recycled.
I think gameplay is more important than the Easter egg, and it was really cool seeing a bunch of old maps return in one map. Plus, there was a lot of cool story details and plot threads tied up via radios and ciphers around the map.
Oh, Sleepy, you poor mistaken fool. Revelations was literally a copy-paste of other maps. There was nothing new gameplay-wise to the formula. No new shield, new wonder weapon, specialist weapon, etc. It was a rip-off.
Personally, it's a C tier for me.
Nuh-uh, A tier.
You both are so wrong. It's an F tier.
Guess I'll settle this like how I handled Al-Qaeda. Put it in C tier Obama and call it a day.
George, if you ever try and overrule me again, I'll have to throw my shoe at you.
Well, the last time that happened, I dodged that shit with speed the likes of which you could never fathom. Your lard ass couldn't hit a stationary target.
Come to Mar-a-Lago, I'll square up, George. You neocon pussy.
Gentlemen, we got to get through BO4 still. Just relax.
Oh, don't remind me. Black Ops 4 is such a letdown compared to the masterpiece that is Black Ops 3.
I actually liked it, especially Blood of the Dead.
Well, Blood of the Dead had a cool ending cutscene. That's where the positive stopped for me. It suffers the same problems all Black Ops 4 maps do. The perk system is ass. Starting with specialist weapons was a big step down from the map-specific ones of Black Ops 3. It made it way too easy as well.
I actually love the perk system. It encourages trying new loadouts instead of the same perks every time.
Well, Joe, that doesn't really make sense because everyone ran the same 4 perks usually anyways. Dying Wish was a crutch perk. Winter's Wail was really overpowered. There was still little variety. What map you were playing would determine what perks you brought. I mean, a lot of the perks were lame anyways, like Blaze Phase. Who uses that shit?
Joe does.
Well, still, Blood of the Dead had a lot of good storytelling in it, and the new areas were really interesting to play on, like the new spawn area and the catwalk to get to the prison. And my boy, the Blundergat, was back with a new variant.
No, Sleepy Joe. The only blunder here is your entire presidency. They nerfed the Blundergat and Acid Gat hard from Mob of the Dead. Not to mention the Hell's Retriever was useless since you only had 1 equipment slot. They removed the plane, added a moving pack-a-punch, and even retconned a lot of the great lore that Mob of the Dead had. Immediate F tier. We pretend this shit doesn't exist too.
I gotta agree as a certified Mob of the Dead enjoyer to see how they fucked up the remake everyone wanted the most. I can't help but cry when I think about it.
Okay, calm down, George. It's just a game. Still, to make sure Joe's opinion is taken into account, I'll drop it in D.
Thanks, Obama.
Moving on, we have Classified. I think it lost a lot of the charm that 5 had, but I also really enjoy how Pack-a-Punch is at Groom Lake. And while not as good as playing as Presidents, the Ultimus crew finally returning for the first time since Moon was really great. Plus, they buffed the Winter's Howl, B tier.
Solid points, George, but I would have to say C tier considering the Easter egg was to get to round 150. I remember trying that when this game first came out and my shit blue screened at round 149. Never again.
I got to agree with Donnie, plus the new areas of the map were also kind of pointless. It is nice how they added a shield, though. I would still say it's a B tier, one of the better Black Ops 4 Ether maps.
Okay, B tier it is then. Next up is one of my favorites, Voyage of Despair.
Seriously, Sleepy? You like this shipwreck of a map, pun intended? I know your old ass was probably on the Titanic when it sunk, but this map layout is horrendous. There's way too many special zombie types. The Kraken and its variants are subpar, and the Easter egg fucking blows. Not to mention it's part of the shitty Chaos storyline.
Well, the boss fight was one of Treyarch's best, to be fair.
And the Easter egg is one of Treyarch's worst. I mean, the planet step speaks for itself. That shit is nearly impossible to do solo, and even with friends, it is utterly confusing.
Yeah, Joe, you're alone on this. This shit has to go in F tier.
Fuck you guys. Y'all can't recognize a good map when you see it. I will defend the Chaos maps till I die.
Which won't be very long, you fucking fossil.
Why are you always making things personal, Trump? I'm tired of it. Can't wait till your ass goes to prison.
Then nobody will be there to carry you through every Easter egg, dumbass. You better pardon me if shit goes down or else you're fucked.
Guys, let's just move on, please. Next up is 9.
Well, everyone knows I hate Chaos, but this one is all right, I guess. Not as hyped up as people say it is. I mean, the layout is just a circle at the end of the day, but I do enjoy the aesthetic of the map. The gladiators and tigers are pretty interesting enemies.
Let's talk about the Easter egg. I think it's pretty decent, although some of the steps are kind of out there, like collecting dung.
Yeah, not sure what that's about. But at the end, you get to fight not one, but 2 motherfucking zombie elephants. I respect 9 as a map, probably the best Chaos map to just jump in and play. I can settle for A tier.
That's what I'm talking about, Donald. Seems we can agree on something.
And not to mention Donald, it features another banging Avenged Sevenfold track as the Easter egg song.
Glad that didn't take long and we all agreed.
Oh, I'm sure Joe is about to tell us how much he loves Dead of the Night. What a dumb map. Whoever would have thought we'd be killing Count fucking Dracula and the Wolfman in Zombies? So sad. Just thinking about it makes me want to go on a tweet storm.
Well, Donald, you might be surprised to know I don't like this map. I can never figure it out. There's like 100 fucking part spawns on this map, and I don't feel like opening a Mr. Dalek JD video every time I want to play zombies. Not to mention opening Pack-a-Punch is tedious and monotonous.
I do like the dark and gloomy atmosphere. The silver bullets are a unique mechanic, and the Alistair's Folly is a strong-as-hell wonder weapon with a fun upgrade quest.
If by fun upgrade quest you mean fucking stupid. I mean, this one requires you to pick up vampire shit. What's the obsession with fecal matter in this game?
I never really noticed that before, but Don has a point. Still, I think it belongs in C tier. What are you fellas thinking?
I think it's an A tier. It's my favorite Chaos map.
I gotta side with Donald on this one. This map is miserable. D tier is the absolute highest I can go, but I'd be happier with F.
Thank you, Sleepy Joe, and this is why we're friends. Maybe I'll drop the Sleepy from your name during the campaign season.
Fine, we'll meet in the middle at C tier since you all want to be haters.
Next is Ancient Evil. Probably the peak of the Chaos story, and ironically the end as well.
Yeah, I can't believe just when things were really getting interesting, they ended it. At least we got that kiss between Medusa and Scarlet during the cutscene.
That shit was pretty hot, not gonna lie.
I mean, this map was goofy as fuck like all of Chaos, but I do like the wonder weapons. My favorite is probably the Hand of Charon. The shield was pretty dope, and the Easter egg is actually really fucking fun.
The hit your mark step is one of the most fun steps in Zombies history.
Yeah, totally. Can we settle on A tier for Ancient Evil?
Fine by me.
Sure thing, Joe.
Okay, next up is Alpha Omega.
Oh, I love this map too.
All right, motherfucker, you're back to being Sleepy Joe.
Joe, how can you like this dog shit? I mean, it's just Nuketown Zombies, just slightly bigger. And the entire bunker is just ripped from blackout mode. The Easter egg is not challenging. And while seeing the Avogadro return with more lore was cool, it wasn't really a boss fight.
Oh, I thought his name was Avocado this whole time.
You thought the Electric Man was named after a fruit?
Stupid Joe.
So what do you like about Alpha Omega?
Joe, wake the fuck up.
Huh? Oh, sorry, what'd I miss?
We just dropped Alpha Omega in F tier. That's what you missed. On to Tag der Toten.
This map was pretty mid. Call of the Dead being remade was pretty cool, and I do like some of the additions, but again, it's BO4, so it's going to be a little lower than it could be.
The addition of the Golden Pack-a-Punch machine definitely made this map stand out compared to the rest of BO4. Playing as Victis again was nice too.
Who wants to play as Victis during the final Ether map? And instead of a real cutscene, we get another Microsoft fucking PowerPoint presentation. We should have gotten the Great War map, not this sad excuse of an ending.
Donald, the Great War map never existed.
It did, before Treyarch fucked up BO4 so badly. Factions never came out, Zombies Chronicles 2 never came out, no wonder Jason Blundell got fired.
Let's stick to talking about tag. I, for one, hate how they killed off Primus and Ultimus. It felt so out of character for Nikolai to do his friends like that. Even if it had to happen, it was anticlimactic.
I say since our opinions are all over, we stick it firmly in the middle at C tier.
Oh boy, on to Cold War Zombies, my favorite.
More like Cold Snore Zombies.
Yeah, I don't like the Warzone influence. Every map in this game feels the same. There's no variety at all, aside from the map's wonder weapon and the Easter egg, which also take a huge step back in quality. In terms of gameplay, every map feels exactly the same.
Yeah, no wonder Joe likes it. It holds his hand through every step of the Easter egg, and with no perk limit in the armor system, surviving to high rounds becomes a test of patience instead of a test of skill.
And don't get me started on the story. The intel system was so fucking stupid, and with so many pieces of it, the only way to follow what was going on was to watch a YouTube video explaining it all. Richtofen and Samantha were the only interesting characters. Bringing campaign characters into Zombies was stupid as hell.
What about Peck? He was cool. Same with Weaver and Raptor 1.
Raptor 1, the guy who exfils you from the map, that's not a character. He's a gameplay element. Peck was okay, but the scene in Firebase Z where he dances is kind of cringe.
Not to mention, we never got the Transit remake we deserve. I mean, think about it. Nobody's going to be playing Firebase Z 5 years from now. I say we lump all of them into F tier.
Now hold your horses, Cheeto Man. Cold War is still fun and brought a lot of new players to the game, even if it did lose a lot of the personality that Zombies had before. I say we give Cold War credit for that.
Okay, but Firebase Z and Forsaken definitely belong in F tier. Worst Treyarch maps along with Transit.
Don't you dare compare those maps to my beloved Transit. I ought to build a great huge wall around your house just for making such a comment.
Okay, well, those maps are definitely bottom of the pack, but Die Maschine and Mauer der Toten are genuinely a good time. Please, let's put them in B tier at least.
Okay, we can do that.
This shit is more rigged than the 2020 election. Those maps are horrible, too.
Trump, you got a lot more say than Joe did on this tier list. Just shut up and accept it, even though we know you can't accept when you don't get your way.
What about Outbreak?
Dog shit. Not real zombies, just multiplayer maps with zombies thrown in.
I gotta agree, Outbreak really isn't what we expect out of Zombies. Drop it in D tier.
I can live with that. I enjoy it, but it's not for everyone.
Okay, well, that settles it. No point ranking Farm or Bus Depot, but I know for a fact we all think Town is an A-tier experience, so let's drop that there.
Well, this tier list is more cursed than I would like, but overall this was pretty fun.
Yeah, I had a good time. Our opinions are definitely all over the place, but we still managed to make a tier list with everyone's input.
How about we get an Easter egg going?
Ooh, fuck yes, Transit.
Damn it, Don, you and your Transit. All right, fuck it, I'm game.
All right, let's show these undead fuckers what happens when you mess with the Presidential Zomboys.
Former President Obama here saying thank you for all the positive responses on my Moon video. We hit over 100K on that and over 2,000 subs. Thank you. As you can see, this video is pretty lengthy, possibly the longest AI President's gaming video on YouTube, period. So thank you for sitting through. Given the length of this video and the time poured into it, there will be a short break between this and the Transit Easter egg video. So be patient and subscribe to know when it is posted. Thank you, and as always, have a blessed day.